Welcome prisoner number 323129. Thanks for making the time to be here. Today on 4/6/1991 the board shall decide your parole status. Be sure to show improvements and accomplishments and anything positive you'd like to share. Every word matters. At request of your therapist Silas Adams he shall be overtaking the interview. From here on out Silas shall take over.
Alright, Greener. I know who you are, but unfortunately the board doesn't, so go ahead and state your name.
Greener Miles.
Thank you, Greener. Now, for the sake of the board, could you possibly tell us the conviction that put you in this fine prison?
I was convicted on 31 counts of human trafficking in 1981.
Now that we're all caught up, let's start the interview.
I can't wait, Silas. I'm sure you're gonna do great. Don't let the lack of seniority affect your confidence.
I see you're being charming as ever, Mr. Greener. Can you start with your childhood, please?
Well, that's a dumb question. Did you come up with that one? I'm not shocked if you did. My childhood was bliss. I still cared for people. Their opinions meant something. That was of course until I saw my uncle cry. He was a strong man. I've never seen any weakness from him. He was wit beat anyone else's. And he was so strong. That was a man wanted to become. Of course, he was that type of man. Then my aunt left him for some common man. My uncle wasn't the same then. He wasn't witty. He didn't try to be best man in the room anymore. He was just devolving. And all for some women. He kept devolving until he shot himself. I tried to feel bad for him, force myself to cry, to feel any sort of sympathy. But I realized that it didn't matter. My uncle was no better than the cat my father ran over getting to his funeral. Just an animal. A bag of blood and air. No more conscience than a houseplant. Then I expanded that view. The whole world was like my uncle. There were no thinking, breathing people. Just things. Objects. When I figured that out, I went further. I was the only perfect person on earth. No one means anything to the universe except me.
That was perfect, Greener. Now, for your next question, how did this worldview conflict with your lifestyle as a philanthropist?
Conflict? If anything, it pushed me into philanthropy. I pitied them. I wanted to save them. Make them perfect. Make them me. I devoted everything to them. I suffered in ignorance in Harvard. So many grabs thought they had touched my perfection because their families have money. I made it though, and I thought surely the films of New York would have better. They didn't, in fact. It was worse. Not only were the specs cocky, they treated me like an outsider. They couldn't even see my perfection. But again, I survived. Did my 20 years. Now, I thought now, I can change the world for better. This will be men and women of reason. They will see my importance. So I take my massive wealth and put it into a new charity. Life Changers. It was going to change people from grabs. Or so I thought it would. Instead it showed me how pathetic humans are. I provided food, shelter, jobs, and education. I gave those people everything they needed to succeed. What they do then? They waste it. They go become teachers and carpenters. They mock my care, steal my food. They ruin my beds night after night. And still, I believed I could help these people. I knew in my heart they were useless. past saving. So I went worldwide to see if I could save some. Anyone from their mediocre lives.
Did you find anyone worldwide?
You know the answer to that.
Moving on, tell me about the brothels in Cambodia.
As you know, after my divorce, I was in need of money. I don't know why Sheila divorced me. I always found her to have some rational thought. Not much, but enough for me to tolerate. My accounts were cleaned out. The charity was failing and I had nothing. The universe was punishing me for forgiving these people in my life. But I tell you that I've never felt more free. No longer would I help these people. They didn't deserve it. Not anymore. Still though, I needed money. So logically, I used my connections to start up a sex ring. I knew how pathetic my colleagues were. They'd fall for it. These worms were to be blackmailed. I'd control their small minds, destroy them.
Did it work?
Almost too well. Sometimes my own intelligence scares me. I made 13 millions the first year, 34 millions the next. I was going to make more, before the Interpol stopped me.
How?
Huh?
If you're so smart, how did Interpol catch you?
Watch it, Silas. I know what you're doing.
Why did your wife leave you, Greener?
I told you. She wasn't smart enough.
Then how did she take your money?
Silas? What are you doing?
I'm just talking, bud. Just answer the question.
Don't tell me what to do, Silas. I leave.
Alright, Greener, enough this posturing. Just tell me how you can be the most perfect person and still constantly fail.
Fail? I've never failed. Haven't you been listening?
Yes, I've been listening to your lies for the past 7 years. I'm done. I've tried to get you to realize you're just crazy.
I'm not crazy. I'm just offending your intelligence. I've worked with people for decades. You're just a worm. A worm that pretends to have power.
Stop, Greener. It's not worth it. I'm done. I'm just done. I'll give you a deal. If you tell me you're not perfect, I release you right now. You can be on the outside tomorrow. Just tell me you're not perfect. Nod your head. Just do anything.
Whoa, Silas. How have you fallen? This little trick isn't going to work. I am perfect. I'm the only perfect human to exist. Why can't you accept that?
Okay, Greener, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but they're considering putting you on death row. There's a new law out, and they're hoping to make you an example. Please, just admit that you're not perfect. If not for your own life, do it for me, do it for your kids. Just do it. Please, just do it.
You know, I can do that, Silas. This is all one big grift. I'm not going to dignify your feelings. I'd rather die.
Application denied, Greener. I hope it was worth it.
It was, Silas. It was.